If you're thinking about traveling to Cuba, I'm going to give you some tips and let you know what you need to know before you travel. Keep watching the video. Welcome back. It's Jeff Lepard from jefflepard.com, and on this channel we do vacation videos, do-it-yourself videos, product reviews, and so much more. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. The most common question that I get asked before coming to Cuba, what currency do I need and where do I exchange? And that has changed over the last 3 years. There used to be the convertible peso, the CUC, the Cuban convertible pesos, which are no longer a currency. It's pretty much garbage. It's worthless. You can't use it. So that's gone. And the tourists and the locals are all using the same currency. It's the cup. It's the Cuban peso. The Cuban peso. Now, I'm going to give you some advice. They rather, in Cuba, a stronger currency, which is either US, Canadian, or pounds, or whatever currency from your home country. That's the currency that they prefer. And Cuban pesos, you can also use that, of course, as well. I would strongly advise not exchanging too much of the pesos, because if you are left with too much pesos, you cannot exchange it back for your home currency. I would recommend maybe $40, $50, $60 at a time of your home currency converted to Cuban pesos. You know, if you're a tipper and you want the lower change, I would also recommend to bring lower bills, lower denomination bills. They really don't have too much change unless you're down in the nightlife and stuff like that, and of course you can get lots of change for that, but always bring a lot of these American dollar bills. They're going to come in handy. Canadian fives are great. They don't really like the Canadian change, but dollar bills are great, and yes, you can get Cuban pesos in lower denominations as well. So whatever home currency that you have, I would recommend bringing high and low bills for that, and don't exchange too much Cuban pesos. The next tip I'm going to let you know about is where to exchange the currency. That's if you want to get some Cuban pesos, where's the best place to exchange it? Well, of course you can do it at the airport, depending on when your flight is. If you're flying in at any of the Cuban airports during the day, you will have an exchange currency place there. That's fine. You can do that. You can also do it at one of the local banks. You can do it at your hotel, and that would be fine too as well. If you want to get more for your dollar, believe it or not, I would recommend exchanging it with one of the locals. They will always give you the best rate at your hotel. Just talk to one of the security guys, maybe one of the baggage guys, front desk, maybe not so often, but one of the workers on the resorts will always give you a better rate, maybe 10 to 20 pesos more for your dollar, because the Cuban peso is pretty much worthless for them. They prefer a stronger currency, and they also trade with the stronger currencies amongst other Cubans. So a little tip, don't change all your money at a bank, hotel, or an exchange currency exchange place. Do it with a local Cuban, and you'll get a better rate. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is data and Wi-Fi while you're here in Cuba. So a lot of things have changed in the past few years in Cuba. Of course, we know that the internet has not been that strong when you come on vacation, or you have to purchase internet per hour. So that has changed here in Cuba. Depending on the hotel where you're staying at, they will include Wi-Fi. At my hotel here, we have internet for about 10 hours. And when you need more, you just go and get another internet password, and they'll take care of you. The internet is fairly quick. It's I believe it's 4G, but a lot of the social media sites are blocked. Some of them are blocked if you're using the hotel Wi-Fi. I'm personally using my data plan back at home. I'm using a Rogers plan, and it works even faster. So that's the next thing I'll get into. You can Either do that, you can use a home data plan from your country, and it works extremely fast. In fact, you can even live stream. If you're a live streamer, then it works at 720. You'll seem to be holding up a stream quite well. Surfing the internet is fast, so I would recommend doing that. If you don't have that, you can also purchase a SIM card from Cubacell down here in Cuba. And they have various different plans depending on how much data coverage you want and how much data you're going to be using while in Cuba. Now, keep in mind there are some dead zones where you just don't have any signal, as you would expect. But yeah, that's normal. Otherwise, the signal is great. It's a wonderful improvement here in Cuba. But I would personally recommend bringing your data plan, roam like home to Cuba and use that. Otherwise, go to telephone store, a mobile store, Cubacell, and pick up a data plan there. I think they range anywhere from 150 Cuban pesos all the way up to 500 or 1,000 Cuban pesos, and you get so much data on the card then to use. The next thing we're going to talk about is cigars. Of course, Cuba is known for its cigars, the high quality of cigars, and for the great price that you can get them here for. So the first thing is, I would say, be very careful where you buy these cigars. If you're going to buy them from a local or something like that, I would highly recommend not to do that unless you know your cigars extremely well and you know exactly what you're getting. Then you might be able to save a few dollars and go ahead and do that. But like myself, I don't know very much about that, so I would always recommend buying them either at the airport or at a actual cigar shop, and those will be 100% authentic, and you will also get a receipt with the purchase of the cigars. And just make sure that you know how much you're allowed to bring back in your country, and it's always a good thing to keep the receipt. I have been asked for the receipt in the past, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, so that's my recommendations. Buy it from an authorized dealer, a cigar shop, or at the duty-free or at the airport. That's my recommendations, unless you are someone that knows cigars. The next tip I'm going to talk to you about is sauces: ketchup, mustard, mayo, barbecue sauce. If you're someone that likes to have sauces with your meal, such as ketchup and mustard, I would strongly recommend to bring it in your luggage before you come to Cuba. There's simply no ketchup, no mustard here. It's even empty on the store shelves. I went into town, into the grocery stores, and it's simply not there. What I did find some barbecue sauce that was available, but no ketchup, no mustard at all. Not available at all. So I would highly recommend bringing your own, and you should be fine. That goes for spices. There is Tabasco sauce here, so I think you'll be okay with that. There is some seasoning here, but if you have a taste of, you want something special, certain seasoning, I would highly recommend to bring it with you in your luggage. The next tip I'm going to tell you about is about another shortage in Cuba, and that is toilet paper. Yes, you're fine on the resort, you're fine at the hotel, no problems there, but especially this goes to the ladies. When you leave the resort, I would highly recommend to bring toilet paper with you. Otherwise, there is no toilet paper when you're outside of the resort. Very few places will have toilet paper, and if they do, they will charge you for toilet paper, and it is not cheap. So especially to females, if you are leaving the resort, bring toilet paper or some sort of wipes with you, because there's a shortage of toilet paper when you leave the resort. Don't forget to bring a lot of mosquito repellent before you come to Cuba. As you can see, my arm, my whole body is pretty much covered in mosquito bites, and that's something I didn't bring, so make sure you bring a lot of bug repellent. So that's it. I just want to thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Bash that bell to turn notifications on for all upcoming videos. Share the video, give us a thumbs up, and like our video. Leave a comment down below. Let me know any tips you might have or any scams you know about for people traveling to Cuba that would help them out. Be greatly appreciated. That's it. We'll see you on the next video. JeffLepard.com. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.